With the working day over, residents of Seoul work hard to get the frustrations of the day out of their system. Relaxation in this city often means going downtown to the arcades to play shooting or boxing games. At night, the streets are nearly as busy as they are during the day. Well over 10 million people live shoulder to shoulder in South Korea's capital city. Not all of them have homes to go to. The phenomenal economic boom of recent years has not benefited everyone drawn to this huge city. Because space here is at a premium, the buildings rise ever skyward. Seoul has the most skyscrapers in Southeast Asia. In this concrete jungle, there is little room for greenery. In the evening, young people tend to gather in the business district. The Cheongnyeon Canal development offers a place to relax, even though here you have to share your space with thousands of others. The city authorities are aiming to improve the quality of life in Seoul with such regeneration projects. But the scope for beautification is limited because property prices are sky high. Seoul only has some 5 square meters of parkland for every resident. New Yorkers enjoy 3 times as much green space. Seoul is now planning to double its amount of green space. And some people have managed to gain a sense of freedom by turning rooftops into green spaces. The parks aren't big enough for all the people who want to use them, but the city council is taking steps to address the problem.
Environmental issues are climbing up the political agenda in Korea, but high property prices are a big issue. We're trying to change the situation by bringing in various measures. With the construction of more parks, the city should become a greener and more pleasant place.
As the city keeps growing, even temple land has become coveted. But until now, the temples have been holding their own against the skyscrapers. Koreans are proud of their traditions, but are great believers in progress. These days, a quarter of the population lives in Seoul. It's the location for the best universities, schools, and the big employers. The city's allure is strong. Rush hour on Line 1, which serves the city center. At peak times, the transport network is overloaded. But commuters here are used to the overcrowding, bearing the conditions with customary stoicism. All sorts of people ride on this route, rich and poor, young and old. Good material for a musical. Homeless people packed together with rich widows from Gangnam. The musical Line 1 was written in Berlin and has been successfully adapted for South Korean audiences. The two capitals have similarities, although in Seoul there are 4 times as many people living in a much smaller area.
I think the musical is so successful because we're showing ordinary people in their everyday lives on the stage. It gives the audience something they can relate to, a chance to think about their own lives a little.
Lee Boyne works 16 hours a day. In order to afford to live here, he must work 3 different jobs. He starts his day delivering food to poor and elderly people for a charity. The meals are called happy lunches.
할머니 도시락이요. 맛있게 잡수세요.
But like many other people living in Seoul, he can't afford to live on the wages provided by a single job.
그 임금이 무척 적어서
With my small salary, it's just not possible to make ends meet.
그렇게 생활을 하죠.
In the evening, I have to work at another job.
간혹 해요.
And in my spare moments, I draw pictures for comic books.
한 달 생활하기가 빠듯하기 때문에.
Other people rent out rooms, like the Hung family, who are in the unusual situation of owning their own house in the capital. They bought it 10 years ago, when property was cheap. Now that their children have flown the nest, the Hungs offer accommodation to foreign visitors. But property developers are forever knocking on their door with offers.
In the world, yeah, it's one of the best cities, really nice.
Some offered about 10 years ago. Even next house, first son, he's a constructor. He wants to make some kind of apartment with this house. She refused. I didn't know about that. She refused.
In this real estate frenzy, every new development attracts attention, particularly if new flats offer more space than usual. These flats have been built by Samsung. It's known in the West as an electronics giant, but in South Korea, it's also into property development. These apartments are not completely ready yet, but they offer, to those who can afford them, lots of space to stretch out in. The smallest flat is priced at the equivalent of about 190,000 euros. Included in the price is the latest high-tech gadgetry.
Everything in this flat is controlled by computer. For example, when something's missing from the fridge, it can tell you, and even order more from the shop.
In the bathroom, the computer checks your heart rate while you shower. And in the nursery, you can change the wallpaper with a flick of a switch. Living here, it's possible to keep the problems of the metropolis at arm's length.